Thus the master is content to serve as an example and not to impose her will. She is pointed, but doesn't pierce. Straightforward, but supple. Radiant, but easy on the eyes. 59. For governing a country well, there is nothing better than moderation. The mark of a moderate man is freedom from his own ideas. Tolerant like the sky, all-pervading like sunlight, firm like a mountain, supple like a tree in the wind. He has no destination in view, and makes use of anything life happens to bring his way. Nothing is impossible for him. Because he has let go, he can care for the people's welfare, as a mother cares for her child. Governing a large country is like frying a small fish. You spoil it with too much poking. Center your country in the Tao, and evil will have no power. Not that it isn't there, but you'll be able to step out of its way. Give evil nothing to oppose, and it will disappear by itself. 61. When a country obtains great power, it becomes like the sea. All streams run downward into it. The more powerful it grows, the greater the need for humility. Humility means trusting the Tao, thus never needing to be defensive. A great nation is like a great man. When he makes a mistake, he realizes it. Having realized it, he admits it. Having admitted it, he corrects it. He considers those who point out his faults as his most benevolent teachers. He thinks of his enemy as the shadow that he himself casts. If a nation is centered in the Tao, if it nourishes its own people and doesn't meddle in the affairs of others, it will be a light to all nations in the world. 62. The Tao is the center of the universe, the good man's treasure, the bad man's refuge. Honors can be bought with fine words. Respect can be won with good deeds. But the Tao is beyond all value, and no one can achieve it. Thus, when a new leader is chosen, don't offer to help him with your wealth or your expertise. Offer instead to teach him about the Tao. Why did the ancient masters esteem the Tao? Because being one with the Tao, when you seek, you find. And when you make a mistake, you are forgiven. That is why everybody loves it. 63. Act without doing. Work without effort. Think of the small as large, and the few as many. Confront the difficult while it is still easy. Accomplish the great task by a series of small acts. The master never reaches for the great. Thus she achieves greatness. When she runs into a difficulty, she stops and gives herself to it. She doesn't cling to her own comfort. Thus, problems are no problem for her. 64. What is rooted is easy to nourish. What is recent is easy to correct. What is brittle is easy to break. What is small is easy to scatter. Prevent trouble before it arises. Put things in order before they exist. A giant pine tree grows from a tiny sprout. The journey of 1,000 miles starts from beneath your feet. Rushing into action, you fail. Trying to grasp things, you lose them. Forcing a project to completion, you ruin what was almost ripe. Therefore, the master takes action by letting things take their course. He remains as calm at the end as at the beginning. He has nothing, thus has nothing to lose. What he desires is non-desire. What he learns is to unlearn. He simply reminds people of who they have always been. He cares about nothing but the Tao. Thus, he can care for all things. 65. The ancient masters didn't try to educate the people, but kindly taught them to not know. When they think that they know the answers, people are difficult to guide. When they know that they don't know, people can find their own way. If you want to learn how to govern, avoid being clever or rich. The simplest pattern is the clearest. Content with an ordinary life, you can show all people the way back to their own true nature.
Paula!
66.
This is Vidalija.
All streams flow to the sea because it is lower than they are. Humility gives it
I
its
followed
power.
you on another Instagram account, Paula. You just keep coming up as a recommend.
People there. Actually, I'm in the car right now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can barely hear you. What'd you say?
Yeah, I clicked by mistake because I'm in a car right now.
I
It's all right.
get mistake clickers all the time.
Well, it can be happy mistake actually. So what were you going to talk about today?
I'm playing an audiobook.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, play on. I will listen. It will keep me company.
Okay, it's called the Tao Te Ching,
All right.
Book of the Great
Okay.
Way.
I'll just mute. I'll just mute.
If you want to govern the people, you must place yourself below them. If you want to lead the people, you must learn how to follow them. The master is above the people, and no one feels oppressed. She goes ahead of the people, and no one feels manipulated. The whole world is grateful to her, because she competes with no one. No one can compete with her. 67. Some say that my teaching is nonsense. Others call it lofty, but impractical. But to those who have looked inside themselves, this nonsense makes perfect sense. And to those who put it into practice, this loftiness has roots that go deep. I have just 3 things to teach: simplicity, patience, compassion. These 3 are your greatest treasures. Simple in actions and in thoughts, you return to the source of being. Patient with both friends and enemies, you accord with the way things are. Compassionate toward yourself, you reconcile all beings in the world. 68. The best athlete wants his opponent at his best. The best general enters the mind of his enemy. The best businessman serves the communal good. The best leader follows the will of the people. All of them embody the virtue of non-competition. Not that they don't love to compete, but they do it in the spirit of play. In this, they are like children, and in harmony with the Tao. 69. The generals have a saying: rather than make the first move, it is better to wait and see. Rather than advance an inch, it is better to retreat a yard. This is called going forward without advancing, pushing back without using weapons. There's no greater misfortune than underestimating your enemy. Underestimating your enemy means thinking that he is evil. Thus, you destroy your 3 treasures and become an enemy yourself. When 2 great forces oppose each other, the victory will go to the one that knows how to yield. 70. teachings are easy to understand and easy to put into practice. Yet your intellect will never grasp them, and if you try to practice them, you'll fail. My teachings are older than the world. How can you grasp their meaning? If you want to know me, look inside your heart. 71. Not knowing is true knowledge. Presuming to know is a disease. First realize that you are sick. 33. Then you can move toward health. Knowing others is intelligence. The master is her own physician. She has healed herself of all knowing. Thus, she is truly whole. 72. When they lose their sense of awe, people turn to religion. When they no longer trust themselves, they begin to depend upon authority. Therefore, the master steps back so that people won't be confused. He teaches without a teaching so that people will have nothing to learn. 73. The Tao is always at ease. It overcomes without competing, answers without speaking a word, arrives without being summoned, accomplishes without a plan. Its net covers the whole universe, and though its meshes are wide, it doesn't let a thing slip through. 74. If you realize that all things change, there is nothing you will try to hold on to. If you aren't afraid of dying, there is nothing you can't achieve. Trying to control the future is like trying to take the master carpenter's place. When you handle the master carpenter's tools, chances are that you'll cut your hand. 75.
gonna play the Down Aging live on YouTube, but it's it.
When taxes are too high,
There's like no reason to do anything else.
people go
People really
hungry.
like it because it's so relaxing.
When the government is too intrusive, people lose their spirit. Act for the people's benefit. Trust them. Leave them alone. 76. Men are born soft and supple. Dead, they are stiff and hard. Plants are born tender and pliant. Dead, they are brittle and dry. Thus, whoever is stiff and inflexible is a disciple of death. Whoever is soft and yielding is a disciple of life. The hard and stiff will be broken. The soft and supple As it acts in the world, the Tao is like the bending of a bow. The top is bent downward. The bottom is bent up.
Oh, it's
It
just so
adjusts
smart.
excess and deficiency so that there is perfect balance. It
This
takes
is my
from what
impression
is
of
too
Elmo
much
robbing you at gunpoint at a gas
and
station
gives
because he's in a gang.
to what isn't enough. Those who try to control, who use force to protect their power,
Oh shit, the monitor
go
shop.
against the direction of the Tao. They take from those who don't have enough and give to those who have far too much. The master can keep giving because there is no end to her wealth. She acts without expectation, succeeds without taking credit, and doesn't think that she is better than anyone else. 78. Nothing in the world is as soft
Secretly,
and
I move and
yielding
you
as
respond.
water. Yet for dissolving the hard and inflexible, nothing can surpass it. The soft overcomes the hard. The gentle overcomes the rigid. Everyone knows this is true, but few can put it into practice. Therefore, the master remains serene in the midst of sorrow. Evil cannot enter his heart. Because he has given up helping, he is people's greatest help. True words seem paradoxical. 79. Failure is an opportunity. If you blame someone else, there is no end to the blame. Therefore, the master fulfills her own obligations and corrects her own mistakes. She does what she needs to do and demands nothing of others. 80. If a country is governed wisely, its inhabitants will be content. They enjoy the labor of their hands and don't waste time inventing labor-saving machines. Since they dearly love their homes, they aren't interested in travel. There may be a few wagons and boats, but these don't go anywhere. There may be an arsenal of weapons, but nobody ever uses them. People enjoy their food, take pleasure in being with their families, spend weekends working in their gardens, delight in the doings of the neighborhood. And even though the next country is so close that people can hear its roosters crowing and its dogs barking, they are content to die of old age without ever having gone to see it. 81. True words aren't eloquent. Eloquent words aren't true. Wise men don't need to prove their point. Men who need to prove their point aren't wise. The master has no possessions. The more he does for others, the happier he is. The more he gives to others, the wealthier he is. Tao nourishes by not forcing, by not dominating. The master leads. Tao Te Ching can be translated as the book of the imminence of the way, or the book of the way and of how it manifests itself in the world, or simply the book of the way. Since it is already well known by its Chinese title, I have let that stand. About Lao Tzu, its author, there's practically nothing to be said. He may have been an older contemporary of Confucius, 551 to 479 BCE, and may have held the position of archive keeper in one of the petty kingdoms of the time. But all the information that has come down to us is highly suspect. Even the meaning of his name is uncertain. The most likely interpretations, the old master, or more picturesquely, the old boy. Like an Iroquois woodsman, he left no traces. All he left us is his book, the classic manual on the art of living, written in a style of gem-like lucidity, radiant with humor and grace, and large-heartedness and deep wisdom, one of the wonders of the world. People usually think of Lao Tzu as a hermit, a dropout from society, dwelling serenely in some mountain hut, unvisited except perhaps by the occasional traveler arriving from a 60s joke to ask, what is the meaning of life? But it's clear from his teachings that he deeply cared about society, if society means the welfare of one's fellow human beings. His book is, among other things, a treatise on the art of government, whether of a country or of a child. The misperception may arise from his insistence on wei wu wei, literally, doing, not doing, which has been seen as passivity. Nothing could be further from the truth. A good athlete can enter a state of body awareness in which the right stroke or the right movement happens by itself, effortlessly, without any interference of the conscious will. This is a paradigm for non-action, the purest and most effective form of action. The game plays the game. The poem writes the poem. We can't tell the dancer from the dance. Less and less do you need to force things, until finally you arrive at non-action. When nothing is done, nothing is left undone. Nothing is done because the doer has wholeheartedly vanished into the deed. The fuel has been completely transformed into flame. This nothing is in fact everything. It happens when we trust the intelligence of the universe in the same way that an athlete or a dancer trusts the superior intelligence of the body. Hence Lao Tzu's emphasis on softness. Softness means the opposite of rigidity and is synonymous with suppleness, adaptability, endurance. Anyone who has seen a Tai Chi or Aikido master doing not doing will know how powerful this softness is. Lao Tzu's central figure is a man or woman whose life is in perfect harmony with the way things are. This is not an idea, it is a reality. I have seen it. The master has mastered nature, not in the sense of conquering it, but of becoming it. In surrendering to the Tao, in giving up all concepts, judgments, and desires, her mind has grown naturally compassionate. She finds, deep in her own experience, the central truths of the art of living, which are paradoxical only on the surface. that the more truly solitary we are, the more compassionate we can be. The more we let go of what we love, the more present our love becomes. The clearer our insight into what is beyond good and evil, the more we can embody the good.
30,000
Until finally she is able to say, in all humility, I am the Tao, the truth, the life. The teaching of the Tao Te Ching is moral in the deepest sense. Unencumbered by any concept of sin, the master doesn't see evil as a force to resist, but simply as an opaqueness, a state of self-absorption, which is in disharmony with the universal process. So that, as with a dirty window, the light can't shine through. This freedom from moral categories allows him his great compassion for the wicked and the selfish. Thus, the master is available to all people and doesn't reject anyone. He is ready to use all situations and doesn't waste anything. This is called embodying the light. What is a good man but a bad man's teacher? What is a bad man but a good man's job? If you don't understand this, you will get lost, however intelligent you are. It is the great secret. The listener will notice that in the many passages where Lao Tzu describes the master, I have used the pronoun she at least as often as he. The Chinese language doesn't make this kind of distinction. In English, we have to choose. But since we are all potentially the master, since the master is essentially us, I felt it would be untrue to present a male archetype, as other versions have ironically done. Ironically, because of all the great world religions, the teaching of Lao Tzu is by far the most female. Of course, you should feel free throughout the recording to substitute he for she, or vice versa. As to method, I work from Paul Carus's literal version, which provides English equivalents, often very quaint ones, alongside each of the Chinese ideograms. I also consulted dozens of translations into English, German, and French. But the most essential preparation for my work was a 14 years long course of Zen training, which brought me face to face with Lao Tzu and his true disciples and heirs, the early Chinese Zen masters. With great poetry, the freest translation is sometimes the most faithful. We must try its effect as an English poem, Dr. Johnson said. That is the way to judge of the merit of a translation. I have often been fairly literal, or as literal as one can be with such a subtle, kaleidoscopic book as the Tao Te Ching. But I have also paraphrased, expanded, contracted, interpreted, worked with the text, played with it, until it became embodied in a language that felt genuine to me. If I haven't always translated Lao Tzu's words, my intention has always been to translate his mind. Describing the indescribable, teaching the unteachable, pointing the way to the way. What does Lao Tzu think he is doing here? It can't be done. No way. Hence, Po Chu-yi, poet and stand-up comedian, wrote, "He who talks doesn't know, he who knows doesn't talk." That is what Lao Tzu told us in a book of 5,000 words. If he was the one who knew, how could he have been such a blabbermouth? That's the problem with spiritual teachers. They have to be blabbermouths. But their words are, in a traditional Buddhist metaphor, fingers pointing at the moon. If you watch the finger, you can't see the moon. How meticulous the great masters had to be. A monk asked Matsu, "Why do you teach mind is Buddha?" Matsu said, "To stop a baby from
If
crying."
you're gonna end this live stream, go to shorts
The monk
and read
said,
a book.
"When the crying has stopped, what then?" Matsu said, "Then I teach, not mind, not Buddha." The monk said, "How about someone who isn't attached?"
Okay, I'm gonna end this live stream and start reading a book on the shorts. I hope you enjoyed. this YouTube, we will unfortunately have to keep live. Let's switch you out. I think we should. You don't really want to work for me either, do you? But I know who does. Not a little silver. 48 subscribers, very close to breakthrough. So critical mass has been achieved. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Fully organized. Incredibly well organized. Alright, well, what should we do with this show? We have to go live. All right, I'm going to start these lives over here. Hope you enjoyed it. It's been a 12-hour live. Thanks for watching. Go to johnforcongress.com. Wow, 5,000 views. Damn it. 60 seconds left. Pop out on me, aren't you? All right, here we go. This is Rosamundi. This is candidate Congressman John Kitover reading magical poetry to defeat and unseat Darren LaHood, the super spender, super power, super taxer, COVID-19 vaccine, liar, killer, murderer, fraudster, scammer, destroyer of our Constitution, we the people. Yeah! This is called Rosamunde. This is poetry to defeat Darren LaHood. This phone just fell out of the tripod. Here we go. Rose of the world, red glory of the secret heart of love, red flame, rose red, most subtly curled into its own infinite flower, all flowers above. It's flowered in its own perfumed passion, its faint sweet passion folded and furled in flower fashion, and my deep spirit taking its pure part of that voluptuous heart of hidden happiness. Arise, strong bow of the young child Eros, while the maddening moonlight, the memoried caress, stolen of the scented rose, stirs me, it bids each racing pulse ache, ache, bend into an agony of art, whose cry is ever rapture, whose tears for their own purity's undivided sake, a molten dew as on the lotus leaves, silver coiled in the sun, into green girdled spheres, purer than all maidens dream and weaves, lies the unutterable beauty of the waters. Yea, arise, divinest dove of the Idalian, on your crimson wings and soft gray plumes, bear me to yon cool shrine of that most softly spoken one, mine Aphrodite. Touch the imperfect strings, O thou immortal, throned above the moon, inspire a holy tune, lighter, lovelier than flowers and wine, offered in gracious gardens unto Pan, by any soul of man. In vain the solemn stars pour the pale dews upon my trembling spirit. Their caress leaves me moon-wrapped in waves of loveliness, all thine, O rose, O wrought of many a muse and music, O thou strength of ecstasy incarnate in a woman form, create of her enraptured infinite, ultimate, not to be seen, not grasped, not even imaginable, but known of one, the virtue of that spell, thy sweet will toward him, thou unknown, untouched, grave mistress of the sunlight throne, of thine own nature known, not even of me, but of some spark of woven eternity, immortal in his bosom. faint sweet passion, folded and furled in flower fashion, and my deep spirit taking its pure part of that voluptuous heart of hidden happiness. Arise, strong bow, the young child Eros, while the maddening moonlight, the memory caress, stolen of the scented rose, stirs me. It bids each racing pulse ache, ache, bend into an agony of art, whose cry is ever rapture, whose tears for their own purity's undivided sake, a molten dew, as on the lotus leaves, silver coiled in the sun, into green, girdled spheres, purer than all maidens dream in weaves, lies the unutterable beauty of the waters. Yea, arise, divinest dove of the Idalian, on your crimson wings and soft green plumes bear me to yon cool shrine of that most softly spoken one, mine, Aphrodite. Touch the imperfect strings, O thou immortal, throned above the moon, inspire a holy tune, lighter, lovelier than flowers and wine, offered in gracious gardens unto Pan by any soul. In vain the solemn stars pour the pale dews upon my trembling spirit. Their caress leaves me moon-wrapped in waves of loveliness, all thine. Rose, too many a muse and music will no strength and ecstasy incarnate in a woman form create of her own rapture infinite, ultimate, not to be seen, not grasped, not even imaginable, known of one, but virtue of that spell of thy sweet will toward him, thou Kitover reading magical poetry to the feet and unseen daring of the super spender, super farmer, super taxer, COVID-19 vaccine, liar, killer, murderer, fraudster, scammer, destroyer of our Constitution, we the people.
That line in Syria, which Obama never responded to the way he should have. So he saw weakness in the West. He thought that the response would not be stronger than what was seen in 2014, where there was a bunch of strong words and fearless sanctions, weak sanctions.
Hey, at least you a little here, and I'm excited
Hello, my friend. We are reading poetry. Yeah. Here we go. This is round number 2. This is Magic Poetry read by candidate John Kitover to defeat Darren LaHood in the 16th District, a super borrower, a super spender, a super taxer, a COVID-19 vaccine, a liar, fraudster, scammer. Go to johnforcongress.com. In vain the solemn stars pour their pale dews upon my trembling spirit. Their caress leaves me moon-wrapped in waves of loveliness. O thine, O rose, O wrought of many a muse, in music, O thou strength of ecstasy, incarnate in a woman form, create of her own rapture, infinite, ultimate, not to be seen, not grasped, not even imaginable, but known of one, by virtue of that spell of thy sweet will toward him, thou unknown, untouched, grave mistress of the sunlight throne of thine own nature, known not even of me, but of some spark of woven eternity, immortal in this bosom, phosphor paled, and in the gray upstarted, the dread veiled, rose light of dawn, sun shapen shone thy spears of love forth darting into myriad spheres, which I, the poet, called this light, that flower, this knowledge, that illumination, power this and love that, in vain, until thy beauty dawned, or beauty to distill into one drop of utmost dew, one name, choral as floral, one thin, subtle flame, fitted to a shaft of love, to pierce, to endue my trance-wrapped spirit with the avenue, perfect pleasures, radiating far, up and up yet to where thy sacred star burned in its brilliance. Thence the storm was shed, passion of great calm about this head no more of poets, since the dream of beauty gathered close into a stream of tingling light, and gathering ever force from thine own love, its unextended source, became the magic utterance that makes me, dissolving self into the starless sea, that makes one lake of molten joy, one pond, steady as light and hard as diamond, one drop, one atom of constraint intense, of elemental passion scorning sense, all the concentrated music that is I. Oh, hear me not, I die. I am borne away in misery of dumb life, that would in words flash forth the holiest heaven, that to the immortal God of gods is given, and tongue-tied stammers forth my wife. I am dumb with rapture of thy loveliness. All meters match and mingle, all words tire, all lights, all sounds, all perfumes, all gold stress of the honey palate, all soft strokes expire in abject agony of broken sense. In vain the solemn stars pour the pale dews upon my trembling spirit. Their caress candidate John Kitover to defeat Darren LaHood in the 16th district, a super borrower, a super spender, a super taxer, a COVID-19 vaccine, a liar, fraudster, scammer. Go to johnforcongress.com. In vain the solemn stars pour their pale dews upon my trembling spirit. Their caress leaves me moon wrapped in waves of loveliness. O thine, O rose, O wrought of many a muse, in music, O thou strength of ecstasy, incarnate in woman form, creative her own rapture, infinite, ultimate, not to be seen, not grasped, not even imaginable, but known of one by virtue of that spell of thy sweet will toward him, thou unknown, untouched, gray mistress of the sunlike throne of thine own nature, known not even of me, though some spark of woven eternity, immortal in this bosom, phosphor, paled, and in the grave started, the dread veiled, rose light of dawn, sun shapen shone thy spears, of love forth darting into myriad spheres. Jai the poet called this light, that flower, this knowledge, that illumination, power this and love that, in vain, until that beauty dawn, or beauty to be stooped into one drop of utmost dew, one name, choral as floral, one thin, subtle flame, fitted to a shaft of love, to pierce, to endue, my trance-wrecked spirit with the avenue, perfect pleasures, radiating far, of and up yet to where thy sacred star burned in its brilliance. Thence the storm was shed, passion of great calm about this head no more of poets, since the dream of beauty gathered close into a stream of tingling light, gathering ever force from thine own love, its unextended source, came the magic utterance that makes of me, dissolving self into the starless sea, makes one lake of molten joy, one pond, steady as light and hard as diamond, one drop, one atom of constraint, intense of elemental passion, scorning sense, all the concentrated music that is I. Oh, hear me not, I die. I am borne away in misery of dumb life, that would in words flash forth the holiest heaven, that to the immortal God of gods is given, tongue-tied stammers forth my wife, dumb with rapture of thy loveliness, all meters match mingle, all words. Poetry read by candidate John Kitover to defeat Darren LaHood in the 16th district, a super borrower, a super spender, a super taxer, a COVID-19 vaccine, a liar, fraudster, scammer. Go to johnforcongress.com. In vain the solemn stars pour their pale dews upon my trembling spirit. Their caress leaves me moon wrapped in waves of loveliness. O thine, O rose, O wrought of many a muse, in music, O thou strength of ecstasy, incarnate in woman form, creative her own rapture, infinite, ultimate, not to be seen, not grasped, not even imaginable, but known of one by virtue of that spell of thy sweet will toward him, thou unknown, untouched, gray mistress of the sunlike throne of thine own nature, known not even of me, though some spark of woven eternity, immortal in this bosom, phosphor, paled, and in the grave started, John Kitover to defeat Darren LaHood in the 16th district, a super borrower, a super spender, a super taxer, a COVID-19 vaccine, a liar, fraudster, scammer. Go to johnforcongress.com. In vain the solemn stars pour the pale dews upon my trembling spirit. Their caress leaves me moon wrapped in waves of loveliness. O thine, O rose, wrought of many a muse, This is ASMR sounds to defeat Darren the Hood, the borrower, the spender, the taxer, COVID-19 vaccine liar. Go to johnforcongress.com. Thou knowest how I was blind, how for mere minutes thy pure presence was not, was ill-defined, a smudge across the mind, driveling in its brutal essence, hog wallowing in poetry, incapable of thee. Ah, when the minutes grew to hours, yet the beast of fools saw the flowers and loved them, watched the moon rise, took delight in perfumes of the summer night, caught in the glamour of the sun, thought all the woe well won, how hours were days, and all the misery abode all mine. O thou, didst thou regret? Wast thou asleep as I? Didst thou not love me yet? For no, the moon is not the moon until she hath the knowledge to fulfill the music, till she know herself the moon. So thou, so I, the stone unhewn, foursquare, the sphere of human hands immune, was not yet chosen for the corner piece and keystone of the royal arch of sex, and solve the ultimate X. The virginal breathing breeze was yet of either unstirred, unspoken, the great word. Then on a sudden we knew, from deep to deep reverberating, lightning unto lightning, cross the sundering, brightening abyss of sorrow's sleep, there shone the sword of love, and struck and clove the intolerable veil, the woven chain of mail, prudence, self, called and folly known to whom may know. Then, oh, sweet drop of dew, the limpid light rolled over and was lost in mine, and mine in thine. Peace, ye who praise, but disturb the shrine. This voice is evil over against the peace here in the west, the holiest, shaken and crossed the threads. Lachesis, woe fell from her hands, the pale divided strands were taken by the master hand. Eros, her evil thinkings cease, thy miracles begin. Eros, Eros, be silent, it is sin, thus to invoke the oracles of Ord, their iron gates to unclose, the gross, inhospitable warder of love's green garden of spice is well awake. Hell hath enough of her three-headed hound, but love's severer bound knows for his watcher a more fearful shape, a formidable ape, skilled by black art to mock the gods profound. Thou knowest how I was blind, how for mere minutes thy pure presence was not. Okay, this is round 3. Rosamundi. This is ASMR Sounds by candidate Congressman John Kitover. Go to johnforcongress.com. In the abyss of underground, beware who hath entered hath no boast to make. Conscious even surlier breeds the snake. Be silent, oh, for silence sake. That asks the impossible. Smite, smite, profane the datum of pure light. Smite, but I must sing on. Nay, can the orison, myriad fools provoke the crowned with night, hidden beyond sound and sight in the mystery of his own high essence. Lo, rose of all the gardens of the world, did thy most sacred presence not fill the real? Then this voice were whirled away in the wind of its own folly, thrown into forgotten places and unknown. So I sing on. Sisters and wife, dear wife, light of my love and lady of my life, answer if thou canst from the unsullied place, veiling for one star wink thy bright face. Did we leave then once cognizant time for some fear to implant his poison? Did we hesitate, leave but one little chance to fate? For one swift second did we wait? There is no need to answer. God is God. The jealous God and evil, with his rod he smiteth fair and foul, and with his sword divideth tiniest atoms of intangible time, that men may know he is the Lord. Then with that sharp division did he divide our wits sublime, our knowledge bring to naught. We had no need of thought, he brought his malice in derision. So thine eternal petals shall enclose me, O most wonderful lady of the land, immaculate, indivisible circle of night, inviolate, invulnerable rose. The sound of my own voice carries me on. I am as a ship whose anchors are all gone, whose rudder is held by love, the indomitable, purposeful helmsman. Were his port high hell, who should be fool enough to care? Suppose hell's waters wash the memory of this rose out of my mind, what misery matters then? If they leave it, all the woes of men are as pale shadows in the glory of that passionate splendor of love. Aye, my own voice, my own thoughts, these then must be the mutiny of some worm's misery. Go to johnforcongress.com. Hope you enjoyed this ASMR fun. is part 4 or 5, actually. Okay, this is poetry by Candidate John. Okay, this is ASMR poetry by Candidate John. Okay, this is the next round. Here we go. This is your ASMR Sounds book. This is your ASMR Sounds book of poetry and NLP hypnosis by candidate Congressman John Kitover to defeat Darren LaHood in the 16th District. My own voice, my own thoughts, these then must be the mutiny of some worm's misery, some chain despair nodded into my flesh, some chance companion, some soul damned afresh. Since my redemption, that is vocal at all, for I am rapt away from light and call, in the sweetheart of the red rose, and spirit only knows, this woman and no more. Who would know more? I, I am concentrate, in the unshakable state, constant rapture. Who should pour his ravings in the air for winds to whirl, far from the central pearl of all, the diadem of the universe? Did God take pen, rehearse, dull nursery tales there not before? O rose, red rose, shall the beloved of thee, infinite rose, pen, puerile, poetry, that turns in writing to vile prose, were this the quintessential plume of Keats and Shelley and Swinburne and Verlaine, could I outsoar them, all their lyric feats, excel their utterance vain, with one convincing rapture, beat them hollow, as an ass's skin wert thou Apollo, mere slave to me, not lord, thy fieriest flight and stateliest shaft of light, thyself surpassing all were dull, and thou, O rose, soul sacred, wonderful, single in love and aim, double in form and name, triple in energy of radiant flame, forming all, in all most beautiful, circle and sphere, perfect in every part, high above hope of art. Thou, be it said, thou art nowhere now, save in the secret chamber of my heart, behind the brass of my anonymous brow. I, like the coward and slave who writes, write on. He is no more harm to love than the grey snake who lurks in the dusk brake. The bare-legged village boy is to the sun, sire of life, the lover and the wife, immune, intact, ignore. The people here, then, be the people smitten of great fear. It is no odds. I have seen the eternal gods sit starward in old Egypt by the Nile, the same calm pose, the inscrutable one smile on every lip alike. Time hath not had his will to strike. At them they abide, they pass through all. Though their most ancient names may fall, they stir not, are weary of life. For them, even as with us, life is but love. Okay, hope you're enjoying this ASMR poetry by Candidate John. Guess not. Okay, this is your ASMR NLP hypnosis meditation session. Okay, this is your ASMR NLP hypnosis by John Kitover, Canada Congressman, Illinois 16. Okay, this is round 5 or 6. We are reading The Rose of the World. This is NLP ASMR poetry. This is your ASMR NLP hypnosis by candidate Congressman John Kitover. To defeat Darren LaHood, go to johnforcongress.com. I have seen the eternal gods, star sit, star wed in old Egypt by the Nile, same calm pose, the inscrutable wan smile of every lip alike. Time hath not had his will to strike at them. They abide, they pass through all. Though the most ancient names may fall, they stir not nor are weary of life. For with them, even as with us, life is but love. They know, we know. Let then the writings go, that in the very deed we do not know. It may be in the centuries of our life, since we were man and wife, there stirs some incarnation of that love, some rosebud in the garden of spices blows, some offshoot with the rose of the world, the rose of old light, the rose of dew, the rose of love and night, the rose of silence, coverings as with a vesture, solemn unity of things, beheld in the mirror of truth, the rose indifferent to God's gesture, the rose on moonlight wings that flies to the house of fire, the rose of honey and youth. Ah, no dim mystery of desire fathoms this gulf, no light invades the mystical musical shades of a faith in the future, a dream of the day when athwart the dim glades of the forest a ray of sunlight shall flash and the dew die away. Let there then be obscurity in this. There is an after rapture in the kiss. Fire, flesh, perfume, music, that outpaced all time fly off. They are subtle. There abides a secret that most maiden taste. Salt is of the invisible tides of the molten sea of gold. Men may at times behold in the rayless scarab of the sinking sun, and out of that is one, hardly. With labor and pain they are as pleasure, the first flower of the garden, the stored treasure that lies at the heart's heart of eternity. This treasure is for thee. Oh, but shall hope arise in happiness? It may not be. My love is like a golden grate, the veins peep through the ecstasy of the essence of ivory and silk. Pearl, moonlight, mother milk, that is her skin. Its swift caress. Okay, hope you're enjoying this. We've got B Computer listening in for the AI recording and summations. Thank you, B Computer. Okay, this is round 7. Okay, damn, we back. We back. Can't believe how many mother phones I got. Okay, this is part 7 or 8. Here we go. This is candidate Congressman John Kitover reading to you ASMR, NLP, poetry hypnosis. Go to johnforcongress.com. Hope you enjoy. Oh, living rose, oh, dowed with subtle dew. Oh, love, the tiny eternities of time, caught between flying seconds, a well filled with the futilities of fragrant rhyme. Love's retort distilled, in sun rays of fierce loathing purified, in moon rays of pure longing tried, and gathered after many moons of labor into the compass of a single day, and wrought into continuous tune, one laughter with one languor for its neighbor, one thought of winter with one word of June, muddled, mixed in mere dismay, chiseled with the cunning chisel of despair, found wanting, well aware of its own fault, even insistent thereon, some fragrance rare stolen from my lady's hair, perchance redeeming now and then the distant, fugitive tunes. Ah, love, the hour is over. The moon is up, the vigil overpast. Call me to thee at last, O rose, O perfect miracle lover. Call me. I hear thee, though it be across the abyss of the whole universe. But not a sigh escape, delicious loss. Thou hardly a wish rehearse, the imperfection underlying ever the perfect happiness. Thou knowest that not in flesh lies the fair fresh delight of love, not in mere lips and eyes, the secret of these bridal ecstasies, since thou art everywhere, rose of the world, rose of the uttermost abode of glory, rose of the high host of heaven, mystic, rapturous rose. Extreme passion glows deep in this breast. Thou knowest, and love knows, how every word awaits its own reward in a thought akin to thee, shadow of thee, and every tune evokes its musical lord, and every rhyme tingles and shakes in me the filaments of the great web of love. O rose, O roses far above in the garden of God's roses, sorrowless, thornless, passionate rose that lies full in the flood of its own sympathies and makes my life one tune that curls and closes on its own self-delight. A circle, never a line, safe from all wind, secure in its own pleasure house confined, mistress of all its moods, matchless, serene, and sacred amplitudes of its own royal rapture, deaf and blind. Oh, times, costs between them filled with the futilities of fragrant rhyme. Love's rhetorical still, sun rays up fierce though they give.
It's fine. Oh, it's fine. No, it's fine. No worries. I'm free now.
Artful is here.
Keep your appetite.
Oh, such a devilish poem.
Okay, here we go.
This is your ASMR NLP meditation in verses of poetry with candidate Congressman John Kitover running to defeat an unseen terror in the 16th district. Oh, rose, all roses far above, in the garden of God's roses, sorrowless, thornless, passionate rose that lies and full in the flood of its own sympathies, makes my life one tune that curls and closes on its own self-delight, a circle, never a line, safe from all wind, secure in its own pleasure house confined, mistress of all its moods, matchless, serene, in sacred amplitudes, of its own royal rapture, deaf and blind to aught but its own mastery of song and light, shown ever as silence in deep night, secret as death and final. Let me long never again for aught this great delight involves me, weaves me in its pattern of bliss, seals me with its own kiss, draws me to thee with every dream that glows, poet, each word, maiden, each burden of snows extending beyond sunset, beyond dawn. Oh, rose and violet, utterly withdrawn in truth. This is truth. Love knows. Ah, rose of the world. Rose, rose! This is called Rosa Inferni. Ha ha! John plucketh now at his rose to rid himself of a sorrow at heart. Lo, petal on petal, fierce rays unclose, anther on anther, sharp spikes outstart, and with blood for dew the bosom boils, and a gust of sulphur is all its smell. And lo, he is horribly in the toils of the cold black giant flower of hell. Browning, Heretic's Tragedy. Rose of the world, I love in that warm hour wet with your kisses, the bewitching bud flamed in the starlight. Then I bed your bower heave like the breast of some alluring flood, whereon a man might sleep forever, until death should surprise him, kiss his weary will into the last repose, profound of power than life could compass. Now I text my skill to find another holier name, some flower still red, but red with the ecstasy of blood. Dear love, dear wife, dear mother of the child whose fair famed features are a match for mine, Lurks there no secret where your body smiled, no serpent in the generous draught of wine? Did I guess all who guessed your life well given up to my kiss? Aha! The veil is riven. Beneath the smiling mask of a young bride, languorous, luscious, melancholy eyed. Beneath the gentle raptures, hints celestial, holy secrets, kisses like soft dew.
Sorrowless, formless, ancient rose that lies in full in the flood of its own symphonies.
Concept charm. This is your ASMR, NLP, Hypnosis Poetry, read by candidate Congressman John Kitover. Click that like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave me a comment right now on this magical, mystical poetry. called Rosa Inferni. Ha ha! John plucketh now at his rose to rid himself of a sorrow at heart. Lo, petal on petal, fierce rays unclose, another and another, sharp spikes outstart, and with blood for dew the bosom boils, and a gust of sulphur is all it smelt. And lo, he is horribly in the toils of a cold black giant flower of hell, rose of the world. I, love, in that warm hour, wet with your kisses, the bewitched bud flamed in the starlight. Then our bed, your bower, heaved like the breast of some alluring flood, whereon a man might sleep forever, until death should surprise him, kiss his weary will into the last repose. Profounder power than life could compass. Now I tax my skill to find another holier name, some flower still red, but red with the ecstasy of blood. Dear love, dear wife, dear mother of the child whose fair faint features are a match for mine, lurks there no secret where your body smiled, no serpent in the generous draught of wine? Did I guess all? Who guessed your life well given up to my kiss? Ha! The veil is riven. Beneath the smiling mask of a young bride, languorous, luscious, melancholy-eyed, beneath the gentle raptures, hints celestial of holy secrets, kisses like soft dew. Beneath the amorous mystery I view the surer shape, a visage grim and bestial, a purpose sly and deadly, a black shape, a tiger snarling or a grinning ape, resolved by every devilish device upon my murder. This I clearly see. Now you are for an hour away from me. I see it once, no need to tell me twice. Some Yankee yelled, I take it to a rhyme. You can't fool all the people all the time. So he of politics, so I of love. I am a many folk. Let Buddha prove. Many a month you fooled a lot of us. Your spell is cracked within the ring. Behold, O Christ, who clay with more than any gold cleared the man's eyes. So the blind amorous is blinded with the horror of the truth. He sees this moment, foolish prostitute. You slacked your kiss upon the sodden youth in some excess of confidence, decay of care to hold him. Can I tell you which? Down goes the moon. One sees the howling bitch.
John,
This is candidate Congressman John Kitover running in the 16th district against Terry Flood. Go to johnforcongress.com. This is your ASMR, NLP, meditation, hypnosis, and poetry. Some Yankee yelled, I tag it to a rhyme. You can't fool all the people all the time. So he of politics, so I of love. I am a many folk. Let Buddha prove. Many a month you fooled the lot of us. Your spell is cracked within the ring. Behold, how Christ with clay worth more than any gold cleared the man's eyes. So the blind amorous is blinded with the horror of the truth. He sees this moment, foolish prostitute. You slacked your kiss upon the sodden youth in some excess of confidence, decay, care to hold him. Can I tell you which? Down goes the moon. One sees the howling bitch, the salmon you had hooked in fin and gill. You reel unskilfully, he darts away. Alas, you devil, but you hold me still. O first and fairest of earth's darling daughters, how could I sing you? You have always seemed unto the saucy driveler as he dreamed like a rich sunset seen on trumpet waters. Your eyes effulgent from 1,000 slaughters look tenderly upon me. All the red raving round you like a glory shed upon the excellent wonder of your head, the blue all massed within your marvelous eyes. The gold curtain of their harmonies is in master canvas of Darin, ever central glowed, the royal sun, a miracle cartouche upon the edge of the opalescent waters slantwise seen, this oval sealed with grave magnificence stamped you, my queen. Thus looked your lips to one, who stood a casual on life's slippery ledge. Blind bat hanged from the tree of sense, head downward, gorged with sweet banana juice, indifferent to, incapable of aught beyond these simple reflexes, is thought even the highest thought of any use? We are not discussing metaphysics now. See below the beautiful low brow, too low too for cunning, like enough your lips, scarlet splash of murder. From them drips this heart's blood. You have fed your fill on me. I am exhaust, a pale wine phantom floating aimless in air, in which I am thinner. You I see more brilliant of that sanguine hue, if anything be true that I can see.
So to say that there's a reason is that the fact that it's been almost 4 years.
You fucking got the place about me.
This is your ASMR mystical NLP hypnosis experience with candidate Congressman John Kitover. Hit the like button, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and please leave me a comment if you enjoy this mystical NLP poetry to defeat Terran Lord in the 16th District. This is candidate Congressman John Kitover. We are not discussing metaphysics now. I see below the beautiful low brow, low too for cunning, like enough. Your lips a scarlet splash of murder. From them drips this heart's blood. You have fed your fill on me. I am exhaust, pale, wan phantom floating aimless in air, in which I am thinner. You I see more brilliant, of that sanguine hue, if anything be true that I can see. Full fed, you smile obscenely gloating on the voluptuous wreck your lust hath wrought. See the loose languor of precipitate thought. These versicles exhale. How rude the rhyme! There is no melody. The tune and time are broken. 15 centuries ago they would have said, Alas, the youth we know, this devil hath from him plucked the immortal soul. I say, you have dulled my centers of control. If you were with me, I were blind to this, ready to drain my arteries for your kiss, feel your grasp tighten round my ribs until you crush me in the ecstasies that kill. Being away and breathing icy air, I am half lover, caring not to care, half man again, a mere terrestrial ball, thus breaking up a spiritual thrall. My philosophers, half man may yet determine to get back manhood, shake the tree from bats, to change the trope a shade, get rid of vermin, by using William Shakespeare's rough on rats. Ah, love, dear love, sole queen of my affection. Guess you not yet have wheel of thoughts is spun, how out of dawn's tumultuous dejection, and not from noon springs up the splendid sun. Not till the house is swept and garnished well rise 7 other devils out of hell. This is the circle as the manhood rises, and laughter and rude rhyme engage my pen as I stalk forth a man among mere men. The balance changes, all my wit surprises, that I who saw the goblins in your face, that I who cursed you for the murderous whore, licking up life as a cat laps its milk, now see you for a dream of youth and grace, relume the magic aura that begirt you, bless you for purity and life a store, ever running fountain-headed virtue to heal my soul and buckler it and harden. The body is like ivory and silk, your lips are like the poppies in the garden, your face is like a wreath of flowers to crown me, your eyes are wells wherein I long to drown me. We're not discussing metaphysics now. See below the beautiful low brow, low too for cunning, like none. Your lips, the scarlet splash of murder. From that drips this heart's blood. You have fed your fill on me. This is the circle as the manhood rises. Laughter and rude rhyme engage my pen as I stalk forth, man among mere men. Balance changes, all my wit surprises, that I who saw the goblins in your face, that I who cursed you for the murderous whore, licking up life as a cat laps its milk, now see you for a dream of youth and grace, illume the magic aura that begirt you, bless you for purity and life, a store, an ever-running fountainhead of virtue, to heal my soul and buckler it and harden. Your body is like ivory and silk, your lips are like the poppies in the garden, your face is like a wreath of flowers to crown me, your eyes are wells wherein I long to drown me, your hair is like a waterfall above me, a waterfall of sunset, in your bosom I hear the racing of a heart to love me, your blood is beating like a wind-blown blossom, with rapture that you mingle it in mine, your breath is fresh as foam and keen as wine, intoxicating glories are your glances. Your bodily beauty grips my soul and dances. Its maddening measures in my heart and brain. Is it that so the wheel may whirl again? Some dull devil in my ear may show me. For John the Baptist's head so danced Salome. Then in God's name forbear. It does not matter. Life, death, strength, weakness are but idle chatter. Nothing is lost or gained, we know too well. For heaven they balance us an equal hell. We discard both. An infinite universe remains. We sum it up, an infinite curse. So am I man? I lack my wife's embrace. Am I outworn? I see the harlot's face. Is the love better and the knowledge worse? Shall I seek knowledge and count love disgrace? Where is the profit in so idle strife? The love of knowledge is the hate of life. Thanks for listening. Go to johnforcongress.com. This is candidate Kitover, the 16th District, reading poetry to defeat Bear in the Hood. That was called Rosa Inferni. Up next is La Tentation de Saint Antoine, and then Le Pensoir. After that, we'll be reading Ikari and Mort d'Adonis, then The Cannibals, and then Asaldama, A Place to Bury Strangers, in a philosophical poem. And finally, we get to Jezebel. Oh my God, after Jezebel, we finally get to an appeal to the American Republic. called La Tentation de Saint Antoine. In mystic dolor erect, the ascetic turns his vague, untutored thought to love, and sees himself exalted at the amber knees of God the Father. His bowed forehead burns with chastity's white star. The spirit yearns more keenly from the abyss, yet God, are these subtle star sparks of spirit chastities? These deep set shivering saint nor sage discerns. Laughter and love are over him, entice his life to sweeter scent of sacrifice. She knows God's will, not he. Rare licks flowers from the dust. O fool, that heavy of breath dost rot and worship at the shrine of death. O mystic rapture of the crucifix. This is called Le Penseur. Blind agony of thought, who turns his pen or brush or leer to art, shall see in this the symbol of his battle against men. For men, the picture of the torturing bliss of his necessity, sits clutched and closed into himself the adept of wizard thought. Gripped in his own embrace he sits, keen knows the invisible bloodhounds ache upon the slot. Soon they are on him, soon the fangs of hate. The sharp teeth of the infinite are in him. Shall love, or fame, or gold those pangs abate? What siren with smooth voice and breast shall win him? Never a one, be sure. In serene awe, the thinker formulates eternal law. This is called Icarus. Icarus cries, my love is robbed in light, robed in light and splendor of the summits of the sun. Wing, O my soul, thy plumed caparison. Through 90 million miles of space beyond sight, at most imagination's eagle flight, outsoar. But he, by his own force undone, his peacock pinions molten one by one, falls to black earth through the impassive night. Lo! From uprushing earth arises love ardent and secret, scented with the night. Amorous, ready, sing the awakening bliss that catches him from the inane above, hurled, nay, drawn down, what uttermost delight dawns in that death Icarus and Gaia kiss.
begins my last set of poems for the day, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed. Here we go. Mort de Adonis. Okay, this is candidate Congressman John Kitover reading NLP, mystical hypnosis, poetry. This is meditation to defeat Darren LaHood. Go to johnforcongress.com to defeat the super power, super spender, super taxer, super liar, super scammer, super frauder, Darren LaHood. Vote for John Kitover, the 16th district. This is called Mort the Adonis. Adonis dies. Imagination hears the hoarse, harsh breathing of the ill-nurtured boar. Venus bends low, half mother and half whore, whole murderess of boys' bloodhood. Fall, black fears, I through her widowed, her unwedded tears, foolish filial appeal, restore, O Father Zeus, this tender life once more. Falls the balked hope of 500,000 years. She in her gloom and ignorance will go, forlorn to Paphos, wrapped in urgent woe, her hair funereal, swathing her fallen form, its wind-swept horror holding him, his white torn body blushing through tempestuous night. So breaks the life in hell, the year in storm. This is called The Cannibals. All night no change, no whisper, scarce a breath, but lips closed hard upon the cup of death to drain its sweetest poison. Scarce sigh beats the dead hours out, scarce a melody of measured pulses quickened with the blood, that desire which pours its deadly flood through soul and shaken body, scarce a thought, but sense through spirit most divinely wrought, to perfect feeling only through the lips. Electric ardor kindles, flashes, slips, through all the circle to her lips again, and thence unwavering flies to mine to drain all pleasure in one draught. No whispered sigh, no change of breast, love's posture perfectly once gained, we change no more. The fever grows, hotter or cooler, as the night wind blows, fresh gusts of passion on the outer gate, but we, in waves of frenzy, concentrate our thirsty mouths on that hot drinking cup, whence we may never suck the nectar cup. Too often or too hard, fresh fire invades our furious veins, and the unquiet shades of night make noises in the darkened room. Yet did I raise my head throughout the gloom, I might behold their eyes as red as fire, a tigress maddened with supreme desire, white arms that clasp me, fervent breast that glides, an eager snake about me, breast and sides, teeth keen to bite, red tongue that never tires, and lips ensanguined with unfed desires. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this poetical reading this morning, this meditation. Hit the like button, subscribe, and comment. Thanks, everybody. It's candidate John Kitover. Go to johnforcongress.com.